Have you ever wondered why some people seem so happy, no matter what life throws at them? Do you ever catch yourself thinking, what am I missing? Why doesn't anything I do feel fulfilling? You might find yourself stuck in a routine, going through the motions day after day, hoping for a change, but unsure how to create it. What if the answer wasn't in achieving more, but in doing less, and in shifting the way you think about the world around you? Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic after a long day of work. Frustration builds up. Your mind races with thoughts of all the things you could be doing if only the road ahead was clear. But what if, instead of being trapped in this cycle of impatience, you could train yourself to stay calm, even joyful, in moments like these? Sounds impossible? It's not. It's a simple shift in perspective that can turn frustration into peace, and it's within your reach. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore powerful, time-tested habits rooted in Buddhism that can help you find real happiness in your everyday life. Before we dive deeper into this transformative journey, we need a small favor from you. Did you know that while so many people watch our content, only 0.2% of them have subscribed? If you enjoy this video or learn something new today, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue spreading these valuable insights, and it only takes a second. So why not hit that button now? Happiness is often seen as something distant or something we need to chase, but that's not the truth. In this series, we'll reveal how happiness can be cultivated from within by reshaping how we think and interact with the world. We're not talking about quick fixes or temporary joys. We're talking about deep, lasting change. And the best part? It's achievable, step by step. Let's get started on this path toward happiness together. All right, let's begin. In life, we are often caught up in our busy schedules, constantly thinking about the future or dwelling on the past. We may not even realize how much we miss in the present moment because our minds are elsewhere. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without getting overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. Let's think about it. How often do you eat a meal while scrolling through your phone or thinking about what's next on your to-do list? How often do you walk down the street without noticing the sights, sounds, and smells around you because your mind is busy replaying a conversation from earlier in the day? These habits might seem small, but they pull us away from the richness of life that exists in the present moment. Mindfulness is about bringing your attention back to the here and now. It's about taking a deep breath and noticing what's happening right in front of you. Whether that's the taste of your food, the sound of birds in the trees, or the feeling of the ground beneath your feet. When we are mindful, we begin to experience life more fully, and in doing so, we open ourselves up to happiness that we may not have realized was there all along. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness, especially as taught in Buddhism, is that it doesn't require you to change anything outside of yourself. You don't need more money, a different job, or a perfect relationship to be happy. You just need to shift your attention. In fact, many people who practice mindfulness find that it helps them to be more content with what they already have. But why is this important? It's because so much of our unhappiness comes from living in the past or worrying about the future. We replay mistakes, hold on to regrets, or get anxious about things that haven't even happened yet. When our minds are constantly racing, it's difficult to find peace. Mindfulness helps us break that cycle by bringing us back to the present moment, where life is actually happening. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you're sitting on your couch, thinking about all the things you need to do tomorrow. Your mind is racing, and you're starting to feel overwhelmed. But what if, instead of getting lost in those thoughts, you took a moment to just breathe? You could close your eyes, focus on the sensation of the air filling your lungs, and notice how your body feels as you exhale. In that moment, you're not thinking about tomorrow. You're simply being. And in that space of mindfulness, you can find a sense of calm. Mindfulness isn't just about meditation, though that's a great way to practice it. It's something you can do in everyday life. You can be mindful while you're washing the dishes by paying attention to the feeling of the water on your hands, the sound of the plates clinking, or the smell of the soap. You can be mindful while you're driving by focusing on the road in front of you, the way your hands feel on the steering wheel, or the changing scenery outside your window. The goal is to train your mind to come back to the present moment over and over again. You might wonder, How will mindfulness make me happier? The answer lies in the way it helps us appreciate the small, often overlooked details of our lives. When we are mindful, we stop rushing through our days and start noticing the beauty and joy that exist in each moment. This doesn't mean that difficult emotions won't arise, but mindfulness teaches us to observe those emotions without getting swept away by them. Instead of reacting impulsively or getting stuck in negative thought patterns, we can acknowledge our feelings and then let them pass. Think of it this way. Your mind is like a river. Sometimes the water is calm, and other times it's turbulent. Mindfulness is the skill that allows you to sit by the riverbank and watch the water flow without getting pulled into the current. You can observe your thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. This creates space for you to respond to life's challenges with clarity and calmness, rather than being caught up in stress or frustration. In Buddhism, mindfulness is often linked to the idea of awakening or enlightenment. While these terms may sound distant or difficult to understand, at their core, they simply refer to a deeper understanding of life and our place in it. When we are mindful, we begin to see things as they really are, without the filters of judgment, expectation, or desire. This clear seeing can help us make wiser choices, find peace in the midst of chaos, and ultimately live a happier life. Mindfulness also connects us more deeply to the people around us. When we are truly present in our interactions with others, we listen more carefully, speak more thoughtfully, and act with greater compassion. Instead of being distracted by our own thoughts or worries, we can give our full attention to the person in front of us. This not only improves our relationships, but also brings a sense of fulfillment that comes from genuine connection. You don't have to be a Buddhist to practice mindfulness, and you don't have to meditate for hours every day to benefit from it. Even small moments of mindfulness throughout the day can make a big difference. It's about building the habit of coming back to the present again and again and noticing the richness of life in the here and now. Let's not forget that mindfulness is a journey. You won't become perfectly mindful overnight, and that's okay. It's natural for the mind to wander, especially when we're just starting out. The key is to be patient with yourself and to gently guide your attention back whenever you notice it drifting away. Over time, you'll find that it becomes easier to stay present, and the more you practice, the more you'll begin to see the benefits in your life. So, how can you start practicing mindfulness today? It's simple. Just begin by paying attention. Notice the sounds around you right now. Feel the weight of your body in your chair. Take a deep breath and pay attention to how it feels to breathe in and out. That's mindfulness in action. Nothing complicated. Just being aware of what's happening in this very moment. Remember, happiness isn't something you need to chase after. It's already here, waiting for you to notice it. By practicing mindfulness, you can open yourself up to the joy and peace that exist in the present moment. And as you continue on this journey, you'll find that the more mindful you become, the happier and more content you'll feel in all areas of your life. Practicing compassion and kindness. In this part of the series, we will explore a powerful habit that has the potential to change not only our lives, but also the lives of everyone around us. The practice of compassion and kindness. These two qualities are at the heart of Buddhist teachings and are essential to leading a happy and fulfilling life. Practicing compassion means understanding and caring for the suffering of others, while kindness is about offering help and support wherever it is needed. Let's begin by asking a simple question. How do you feel when someone is kind to you? When a friend checks in on you, a stranger smiles at you, or someone offers help when you least expect it, doesn't it warm your heart? That feeling is the power of kindness, a small but profound force that can make a world of difference. Now imagine living a life where you're not just on the receiving end of kindness, but actively spreading it. What if, instead of waiting for kindness, you became the source of it? Compassion is the foundation of this practice. In Buddhism, compassion is more than just feeling pity for others. It's a deep understanding of their pain and a wish to alleviate it. When you truly understand someone's suffering, you connect with them on a human level. Their pain becomes your pain, and their happiness becomes your happiness. This is why compassion is such a powerful habit. It shifts our focus from ourselves to others, and in doing so, we find joy in giving, helping, and supporting. Let's look at a simple example. Think about a time when you saw someone struggling, maybe a coworker overwhelmed with a project or a friend going through a tough time. Did you step in to help? Did you offer a kind word or a small gesture of support? If you did, you probably noticed how that moment of compassion brought you closer to that person and how it made both of you feel lighter, even if just for a moment. Compassion creates connections, and these connections bring happiness into our lives. But what happens when we don't practice compassion and kindness? Think about times when you might have been absorbed in your own problems, too busy or stressed to notice someone else's pain. Maybe you were stuck in your own thoughts, and in those moments, life felt a little more isolated, a little colder. That's the trap of self-centeredness. When we focus only on ourselves, we close off the world around us, and we miss out on the opportunities for happiness that come from helping others. Buddhist teachings remind us that kindness isn't just something we do for others, it's also a gift to ourselves. When we practice kindness, our hearts open. We stop focusing on our own desires and worries, and in turn, we experience a sense of peace and joy. This is why many people who practice compassion regularly describe it as a source of happiness. It's a habit that lifts our spirits, calms our minds, and connects us to the world around us. So, how do we start practicing compassion and kindness in our everyday lives? The answer is simple. Start small. You don't need to make grand gestures to make a difference. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness can have the biggest impact. Here are a few easy ways to get started. Be present. The first step to practicing compassion is simply being present and aware of the people around you. When you're fully present, you can notice when someone needs help or support. It could be a friend, a family member, or even a stranger. Pay attention to their words, their emotions, and their body language. By being present, you're creating space for compassion to grow. Listen with an open heart. Often, people don't need advice or solutions. They just need someone to listen. When someone shares their problems or worries with you, listen without judgment or interruption. Give them your full attention. Listening with an open heart is one of the kindest things you can do for someone. Offer help when you can. Whenever you see someone struggling, offer your help. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe you can lend a hand at work, run an errand for a friend, or even just offer words of encouragement. Remember, kindness doesn't have to be grand to be meaningful. Practice patience. Sometimes, being compassionate means being patient. Whether it's waiting calmly in a long line, forgiving someone who made a mistake, or giving someone time to express their feelings, patience is a form of kindness that goes a long way. Show gratitude. Gratitude and kindness go hand in hand. When you practice gratitude, you acknowledge the good things in your life, and this naturally leads to kindness toward others. Take time each day to be thankful for the people who have shown you kindness and look for ways to pass that kindness on. Be kind to yourself. Compassion starts with yourself. Many of us are our own harshest critics. We beat ourselves up over mistakes, failures, or shortcomings. But Buddhism teaches us that we must be kind to ourselves before we can be kind to others. This doesn't mean being selfish. It means treating yourself with the same care and understanding that you would offer a loved one. When you make a mistake, forgive yourself. When you're feeling down, be gentle with yourself. By practicing self-compassion, you build a strong foundation for showing compassion to others. Let go of judgment. It's easy to judge others, especially when we don't understand their struggles or choices. But judgment closes the door to compassion. Instead of judging, try to understand where others are coming from. Recognize that everyone is fighting their own battles, and sometimes, a little kindness can go a long way. Practice random acts of kindness. Sometimes, the most joyful moments of compassion come from unexpected acts of kindness. Pay for someone's coffee, leave a kind note for a coworker, or simply offer a smile to a stranger. These random acts not only brighten someone else's day, but also fill your heart with warmth and joy. By practicing these small habits, you'll find that compassion and kindness become a natural part of your life. And the more you practice, the more you'll notice the positive effects on your own happiness and well-being. In Buddhism, there is a beautiful concept called metta, which means loving kindness. Metta is about wishing others well, whether they are friends, family, strangers, or even people you may not get along with. It's the practice of sending out feelings of love and goodwill to all beings. This practice of loving kindness meditation is a powerful way to cultivate compassion and kindness in your heart. If you've never tried it before, start with a simple meditation. Sit quietly, Close your eyes and bring to mind someone you love. Silently wish them happiness, health, and peace. Then, gradually extend those wishes to others, friends, acquaintances, strangers, and even those you may have conflicts with. The more you practice metta, the more your heart will open to the world. In conclusion, practicing compassion and kindness is not just about helping others. It's about transforming your own life. It's about creating a world where happiness flows freely, where connections are deep, and where peace is found in even the smallest acts of care. By making compassion and kindness a habit, you're taking a powerful step toward lasting happiness. Remember, happiness is not something to chase after. It's something you can create, moment by moment, through the simple, everyday acts of compassion and kindness. Ah, my dear friend, you've come to the part where we must speak of detachment from desires and expectations. It's not an easy thing to understand, let alone practice, but if you're willing to open your heart and mind, this teaching can lead to a more peaceful, content life. Sit with me, listen carefully, and let us walk this path together. Desires, you see, are like the wind. They come and go. Sometimes they blow gently, and at other times, they create a storm within us. When we chase after these desires, we are like a leaf caught in the wind, tossed here and there, never finding rest. The Buddha taught us that the root of much of our suffering comes from this very thing. Clinging to desires, wanting things to be a certain way, always striving for more, and expecting life to meet our every demand. But life doesn't work like that, does it? Think about the last time you desired something deeply. Maybe it was success in your work, or the love of someone you cared for, or perhaps something as simple as a new possession. How did you feel when you didn't get it? Disappointed, frustrated, maybe even angry. That's the nature of desire. It builds up inside us, and when it's not fulfilled, we suffer. But what if I told you there is another way? A way to be free from this endless cycle of wanting and suffering. This is where detachment comes in. Now, detachment doesn't mean giving up everything and living in a cave far away from the world. No. It's not about rejecting life. It's about embracing life with open hands, not clenched fists. When we practice detachment, we learn to experience life without being controlled by our desires. We enjoy what comes, and we let go of what passes, without being attached to the outcome. Let me share a simple story with you. There was once a man who loved flowers. He spent hours every day tending to his garden, making sure his flowers were healthy and beautiful. But one day, a strong storm came, and his flowers were destroyed. The man was heartbroken, angry at the world, angry at the storm, even angry at himself for not protecting his flowers better. But as time passed, he realized something important. The flowers were never his to keep. They bloomed, they brought joy, and then they faded away. His attachment to the flowers was the source of his suffering, not the storm. Once he understood this, he began to tend to his garden again, but this time with a lighter heart. He still cared for the flowers, but he no longer depended on them for his happiness. Whether they bloomed or withered, he remained at peace. This is the essence of detachment. We engage with life fully, but we do not cling to it. We let go of the idea that things must be a certain way for us to be happy. Now, let's talk about expectations. Oh, how we humans love to build expectations. We expect others to behave a certain way. We expect life to give us what we think we deserve. We even expect ourselves to be perfect. But these expectations are like heavy chains around our hearts. When things don't turn out as we imagined, we feel betrayed, hurt, or disappointed. Consider this. You plan a day out with your family. In your mind, everything will be perfect. The sun will shine, everyone will be happy, and the day will go exactly as you planned. But then, it starts to rain, someone forgets something important, and there's an argument along the way. Suddenly, the perfect day you imagined is ruined. Why? Not because of the rain or the forgotten item, but because your expectations weren't met. When we live with expectations, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. Life is unpredictable, and things rarely go exactly as we plan. But when we let go of these rigid expectations, we open ourselves up to the beauty of the moment. Maybe the rain brings a chance to laugh and splash in the puddles. Maybe the forgotten item leads to a funny story you'll remember for years. When we stop clinging to how things should be, we start to appreciate how things are. Detachment from desires and expectations doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we care without attachment. We still work hard, we still love deeply, but we do so with the understanding that life is always changing, and we cannot control everything. And that's okay. Think about it like this. When you hold a bird in your hand, if you squeeze too tightly, you will hurt it. But if you hold it gently, it may fly away, but it will do so freely, without harm. Our desires and expectations are the same. If we cling to them too tightly, we end up hurting ourselves. But if we hold them lightly, we can enjoy them for what they are, and let them go when the time comes. As you walk through life, ask yourself, am I holding on too tightly? Am I clinging to desires and expectations that are causing me suffering? If the answer is yes, then it's time to loosen your grip. It's time to practice detachment. Buddhism teaches us that nothing in this world is permanent. Everything is in a constant state of change. The more we try to hold on to things, the more we suffer when they inevitably change or fade away. But when we learn to flow with life, to accept it as it is without clinging or resisting, we find a deep peace that cannot be shaken by the ups and downs of life. This is not an easy practice, my friend. It takes time and patience, but the rewards are great. You will find yourself less affected by the storms of life. You will discover a calmness within you that remains steady, even when the world around you is in turmoil. So, start small. The next time you feel a strong desire for something, pause. Ask yourself, is this desire controlling me? What will happen if I don't get what I want? Can I still find peace in this moment, regardless of the outcome? And when you notice yourself building expectations, gently remind yourself that life is unpredictable. Let go of the need for things to be perfect and embrace the beauty of the present moment. Detachment doesn't mean giving up. It means freeing yourself from the chains of desire and expectation so that you can live with more peace, joy, and freedom. And that, my dear friend, is the key to a truly happy life. The present moment. Many people overlook it, racing ahead to tomorrow or lingering in yesterday. But when you truly begin to understand the nature of this moment, you will realize that it is all you ever really have. Let me ask you, how often are you fully present in your day-to-day life? When you're eating, do you taste every bite? Or do your thoughts drift away to what happened earlier or what might happen next? When you walk, do you feel the ground beneath your feet? Or are you lost in the endless stream of thoughts, unaware of the beauty around you? Living in the present moment is not just a pleasant idea, it's a powerful practice. And it's simple, yet not always easy. Many of us are stuck in our past or worried about the future. This is how we lose touch with the moment right in front of us. We spend so much of our time in these distractions, not even realizing that the only time we ever truly live is now. Think about the moments when you felt truly happy or at peace. Were you worrying about tomorrow then? No. In those rare, precious moments, you were fully present. You were in touch with life, with yourself, with everything around you. That's the beauty of mindfulness, the art of living in the now. Take a breath. Close your eyes if you like. Feel that breath as it enters your body and fills your lungs. Now, exhale. Feel the air leave you. Just in this small act of breathing, you've touched the present moment. You've brought yourself back to this place where life is unfolding. This is the essence of living in the present. Often, we struggle because our minds are so busy. Our thoughts are like clouds that float by, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. We attach ourselves to them, not realizing we can simply let them pass. Thoughts about what we said to someone yesterday. Thoughts about what might go wrong tomorrow. These thoughts pull us out of the now and into worlds that do not exist, except in our minds. In Buddhism, we often talk about the idea of impermanence. Everything is always changing. No moment lasts forever. So, when we cling to thoughts of the past or future, we miss the present moment, which is fleeting. And once it's gone, it's gone. The present moment is where life happens. But we only get to experience it if we're awake enough to notice it. When you start practicing living in the present moment, you will begin to notice things you've overlooked for years. The way the sun feels on your skin, the sounds of the birds outside, the taste of a simple cup of tea. These are not small things. They are life itself. And when you truly experience them, without the mind wandering off to some other place, you will find joy. Joy is not some faraway thing you need to chase. It's right here, always waiting for you to return to it. But how do we live in the present when our minds are so easily distracted? The key is practice. Just like anything else in life, mindfulness, this awareness of the present moment, takes practice. One of the simplest ways to start is by focusing on your breath. The breath is always with you, in every moment. No matter where you are, you can bring your awareness to the breath and anchor yourself in the now. Every time your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. You don't need to judge yourself for getting distracted. The mind naturally wanders. But with time and patience, you will find that you can stay with the breath longer and longer, and in doing so, you remain in the present moment. Another way to practice living in the now is through mindful activities. Whether you're eating, walking, or even washing the dishes, try to do it with your full attention. When you eat, taste every bite. When you walk, feel every step. When you wash the dishes, feel the water, the movement of your hands. These small moments, when fully experienced, can bring great peace. Life is happening right now, in this very second. But if we are constantly focused on what we did yesterday or what might happen tomorrow, we lose the precious moments that make up our lives. Living in the present moment allows us to fully engage with life, to experience it deeply, and to find joy in the simplest of things. There is a famous Zen saying, "When you walk, just walk. When you eat, just eat." This is a reminder to be fully present in whatever you are doing. It sounds simple, but many of us struggle with it because our minds are so full of chatter. We're often thinking about what's next or replaying what's already happened. But when we follow this simple advice, just walk when we walk, just eat when we eat, we find that life becomes much more vivid and alive. Living in the present moment doesn't mean you ignore the past or never plan for the future. It means you don't live there. You honor the past, you prepare for the future, but your home is in the present. It's the only place where life truly exists. And when you can fully inhabit this space, you begin to discover the beauty and richness of life, no matter what is happening around you. It's also important to remember that the present moment is not always perfect. There will be times of pain, discomfort, or uncertainty. But even in those moments, being fully present can help. When you are present with your suffering, instead of running away from it or trying to fix it immediately, you begin to see it more clearly. You see that it's not permanent, that it will pass. This awareness brings a sense of peace, even in difficult times. Living in the present moment is a gift you can give to yourself. It's a way to reclaim your life from the busyness of your mind and the distractions of the world. It's a way to find peace, even in the midst of chaos. And it's a path to true happiness, the kind that doesn't depend on external circumstances but comes from within. So, how will you live your next moment? Will you be fully present, experiencing it deeply, or will you let it slip away unnoticed, lost in thoughts of the past or future? The choice is always yours, moment by moment. And every time you choose to be present, you are choosing life. Gratitude, such a simple word, yet it holds the key to profound happiness. Today, we will explore how to make gratitude a daily practice, a habit that transforms your life from within. You see, many people go through life chasing after more success, more possessions, more recognition, thinking that these things will bring them joy. But in their pursuit of more, they often overlook what they already have. And in doing so, they miss out on one of the simplest yet most powerful sources of happiness, the practice of gratitude. Let me ask you, when was the last time you paused to appreciate the simple things? The warm sunlight on your face, the food on your table, the laughter of a loved one? These moments are all around us, yet we are often too busy, too distracted, to notice them. When we train ourselves to be mindful of these blessings, we begin to see the world in a different light. Suddenly, life feels richer, fuller, more meaningful. Gratitude, in its essence, is about being present. It's about recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life, rather than constantly yearning for what you do not have. The Buddha taught that craving is the source of suffering. We suffer because we are always wanting, always wishing things were different. But when you cultivate gratitude, you shift your focus. Instead of concentrating on what's missing, You become aware of what's already there. This is the secret to lasting happiness. Now, you may be thinking, it's easy to be grateful when things are going well, but what about when life gets tough? This is where the true practice of gratitude comes in. Anyone can feel thankful when life is smooth, but it is in times of challenge that gratitude becomes a powerful tool. In difficult moments, gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your struggles or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it's about finding the silver lining, even in the midst of hardship. Let me tell you a story. Once, a farmer lost his only horse. His neighbors came by to express their sympathy, saying, "What a terrible thing to happen." But the farmer simply replied, "We'll see." A few days later, the horse returned, bringing with it several wild horses. The neighbors, astonished, said, "How wonderful." The farmer again replied, "We'll see." Soon after, the farmer's son tried to ride one of the wild horses, but he was thrown off and broke his leg. The neighbors lamented, "How unlucky." But the farmer remained calm and said, "We'll see." Later, the army came to the village to recruit young men for war, but they passed over the farmer's son because of his injury. The neighbors said, "How fortunate." And the farmer, as always, replied, "We'll see." This story illustrates the impermanence of life and how events that seem either good or bad at first glance may turn out to be quite different in the end. By practicing gratitude, even in difficult times, you develop the ability to remain calm, steady, and open to whatever life brings. You begin to understand that life is full of ups and downs, but each experience offers something valuable, even if it's not immediately obvious. Gratitude also strengthens our connections with others. Think about it. When someone shows you genuine appreciation, how does it make you feel? Doesn't it warm your heart? Doesn't it create a sense of closeness? This is the power of gratitude in relationships. When you express gratitude to others, you not only acknowledge the positive impact they have on your life, but you also strengthen the bond between you. This simple act can transform relationships, bringing more kindness, understanding, and compassion into your interactions. In Buddhism, we often speak of interconnection, the understanding that all beings are interconnected, that we are all part of a larger whole. Gratitude helps us see this interconnection more clearly. When you are grateful, you recognize that you do not exist in isolation. Your life is made richer by the people, experiences, and even challenges that shape you. Gratitude allows you to see the web of support that surrounds you, whether it's the people who care for you, the natural world that sustains you, or the teachings that guide you. Making gratitude a daily practice doesn't have to be complicated. It starts with small, simple actions. Each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be the warmth of your morning tea, the smile of a stranger, or a moment of peace in the midst of a busy day. What matters is the intention behind the practice, the act of pausing, noticing, and appreciating the good in your life. Another way to cultivate gratitude is through your words. Make it a habit to express your thanks, whether verbally or in writing. If someone has helped you, take the time to acknowledge it. If you feel blessed by something in your life, say it out loud, even if it's just to yourself. These simple acts of gratitude have a profound ripple effect. Not only do they shift your own mindset, but they also bring more positivity into the world. Gratitude is like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. At first, it might feel unnatural, especially if you're used to focusing on what's lacking in your life. But over time, you will find that gratitude becomes second nature. You will start to notice the beauty and blessings all around you, even in the smallest of things. There is a Buddhist practice called enlightening, which involves reflecting on 3 questions each day. What have I received today? What have I given today? What troubles and difficulties have I caused? This practice is a powerful way to cultivate gratitude because it shifts your focus from what you lack to the ways in which your life is supported by others and the ways in which you can give back. By reflecting on what you've received, you become more aware of the kindness and generosity that exist in your life. By considering what you've given, you start to see how your actions contribute to the happiness of others. And by acknowledging the difficulties you've caused, you cultivate humility and a sense of responsibility. This balanced reflection helps you stay grounded in gratitude, no matter what life throws your way. As you integrate gratitude into your daily life, you may notice that your outlook begins to shift. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming start to feel more manageable. The little things that once went unnoticed now bring you joy. And the people around you may even start to notice a change in you. Perhaps you smile more often, or your words are kinder. This is the quiet, transformative power of gratitude. In the end, gratitude is not about pretending that life is perfect or that you have everything you want. It's about recognizing that, in this moment, you have enough. It's about appreciating the present and all the gifts it holds. It's about understanding that true happiness comes not from having more, but from being content with what you already have. So, make gratitude a habit. Practice it daily. Let it fill your heart and your mind, and watch as it transforms not only your life but the lives of those around you. Let us take a moment to reflect on the nature of thoughts. Thoughts arise in our mind like clouds in the sky, constantly changing, never staying still. Some thoughts are light, pleasant, and bring us joy. Others are heavy, dark, and pull us down into states of worry, fear, or anger. But remember this, thoughts are not facts. They come and go, and we are not bound by them unless we choose to be. Today, I want to guide you into the practice of cultivating positive thoughts. This may sound simple, but it is an art that requires patience and attention. The mind is naturally drawn to negativity. It is often easier to see what is wrong than what is right. This habit is deep within us, born out of our desire to protect ourselves from harm. However, when we only focus on the negative, we end up harming ourselves more. We trap ourselves in a cycle of pessimism, constantly seeing the worst in everything. But like the Buddha teaches, the mind is trainable. We can learn to shift our focus, to nurture thoughts that uplift us rather than bring us down. It's not about ignoring life's difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. Instead, it's about choosing to direct our attention toward the positive aspects of life, no matter how small they may be. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in a garden. Before you are two plants. One is thorny, with wilted leaves, while the other is blossoming with vibrant flowers. Which one would you choose to water? Most of us would choose the flower, yet in our daily lives, we often do the opposite. We water the thorns. We focus on the negative thoughts, giving them our energy and attention, allowing them to grow. So how do we start watering the flowers in our mind? The first step is to become aware of our thoughts. Every day, take a moment to notice the nature of your thoughts. Are they kind or harsh? Are they hopeful or full of doubt? By observing, we create space between ourselves and our thoughts. We see that thoughts are just that, thoughts. They do not define us. Once we are aware, the next step is to consciously shift. When a negative thought arises, we do not have to fight it or push it away. Instead, we gently acknowledge it and then redirect our focus to something more positive. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I am not good enough," pause and replace it with, "I am doing my best, and that is enough." This simple shift can change the entire tone of your day. But do not expect the mind to change overnight. Like anything worth cultivating, it takes time. Think of it as planting seeds. At first, you may not see any growth. But with consistent effort and patience, those seeds will eventually sprout, and your mind will become more fertile with positive thoughts. Another practice to help you cultivate positive thoughts is gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity. When we take time to reflect on what we are grateful for, we begin to see life through a different lens. Suddenly, even the small, seemingly insignificant things become sources of joy. The warmth of the sun, the sound of the birds, the smile of a stranger. All of these can lift our spirits if we allow them to. Start each day with gratitude. When you wake up in the morning, before your feet touch the ground, take a moment to think of 3 things you are thankful for. They don't have to be grand or extraordinary. In fact, the simpler, the better. By doing this, you set the tone for the rest of the day. You begin your day with a positive mindset, and that mindset carries you through whatever challenges you may face. As we continue on this path, we must also learn to be kind to ourselves. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. We dwell on our mistakes and shortcomings, feeding the cycle of negative thinking. But this is not the way of compassion. The Buddha taught that we must treat ourselves with the same kindness we would show to others. When a negative thought arises about yourself, ask yourself, Would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, then why say it to yourself? Positive thinking is not about avoiding the truth or ignoring the difficulties of life. It is about choosing where to place your attention. It is about recognizing that, no matter what happens, there is always something to be grateful for, always a thought that can bring us peace. As you walk through life, remember that your thoughts shape your experience. The more you focus on what is good, the more good you will see. The more you dwell on what is kind and uplifting, the more your mind will be filled with peace. Take a deep breath now and let go of any negative thoughts weighing you down. Know that you have the power to choose your thoughts, to nurture a garden of positivity in your mind. The world may be full of challenges, but with a mind that is trained to see the good, you can face them with strength and grace. Just as the lotus rises above the muddy waters, so too can your mind rise above negativity, blooming in the light of positivity and peace. Stay mindful, stay compassionate, and watch as your world transforms from within. Finding contentment in simplicity. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to get caught up in the rush. People chase after bigger houses, fancier cars, and the latest gadgets, thinking these things will bring them happiness. But what if I told you that true joy comes not from abundance, but from simplicity? Finding contentment in simple things can transform your life in ways you never imagined. Let's take a moment to appreciate what simplicity means. It's not about living without comfort or joy. Instead, it's about recognizing the beauty in what you already have. When you look around, do you see a cozy home, a warm meal, or a friendly smile? These simple treasures often hold more happiness than we realize. Buddhism teaches us that desire can lead to suffering. When we constantly crave more, we overlook the joys right in front of us. Imagine sitting quietly, breathing deeply, and appreciating the little things. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, or the taste of your favorite food. These moments are gifts, and when we cherish them, we cultivate a sense of peace and happiness. To practice contentment, start small. Each day, take a few minutes to reflect on what you have. Maybe it's a good friend who listens to you, a hobby that brings you joy, or simply the ability to walk in nature. Write these down if you can. This simple act of recognition helps shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. Over time, this practice will fill your heart with gratitude. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a concept called mudita, which means sympathetic joy. It encourages us to take delight in the happiness of others. When someone achieves something great, instead of feeling envious, celebrate with them. This shift in perspective not only fosters joy, but also strengthens our connections with those around us. The more we practice joy for others, the more we find it within ourselves. Another way to embrace simplicity is to declutter your life. Take a moment to look around your space. Are there things that no longer serve you? Possessions can weigh us down. When we hold on to too much, it creates chaos in our minds and hearts. By letting go of physical clutter, we can also free ourselves from mental clutter. Choose a few items that truly bring you joy and let the rest go. You'll be surprised how lighter and more at peace you feel. Living simply also means reducing our mental noise. How often do you find your mind racing with thoughts, worries, or regrets? Instead of letting these distractions take over, try to practice mindfulness. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. With each inhale, feel the air filling your lungs, and with each exhale, release any tension. This practice can help clear your mind, allowing you to find contentment in the present moment. Let's not forget the importance of connecting with nature. Nature has a magical way of grounding us and bringing us back to simplicity. Spend time outside, whether it's walking in a park or sitting under a tree. Notice the colors, the sounds, and the smells. Allow yourself to be present in that moment. Nature reminds us of life's simple joys and helps us appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. Consider also the relationships in your life. Are they fulfilling? Often, we complicate our relationships by seeking perfection or trying to impress others. But true happiness comes from being genuine. Surround yourself with people who accept you for who you are. Share laughter, stories, and experiences without the pressure to perform. These authentic connections are where we find true joy. Finding contentment in simplicity also extends to our desires. We live in a culture that promotes constant wanting, leading us to believe that happiness lies in material possessions or achievements. Instead, try practicing gratitude. When you feel the urge to buy something new or achieve more, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, will this truly bring me happiness, or is it a fleeting desire? This awareness can help you make more conscious choices. Moreover, it's important to embrace the beauty of routine. Often, we think of routine as boring or mundane, but it can be a source of comfort and stability. Establish simple daily rituals that bring you joy, whether it's sipping tea in the morning, taking a walk after dinner, or reading a book before bed. These small acts can create a sense of peace and contentment in your day. In moments of stress or overwhelm, remember to return to simplicity. When life feels complicated, ask yourself, what is essential right now? Focus on one task at a time, and let go of the need to do it all. This approach can help you find clarity and joy in your daily activities. Lastly, remember that contentment is a journey, not a destination. It takes practice and patience. Each step you take towards simplicity is a step towards greater happiness. Be gentle with yourself and allow space for growth and change. The more you embrace simplicity, the more you'll discover the profound joy that comes from appreciating life's simplest pleasures. As you move forward, carry these lessons in your heart. Happiness doesn't come from external sources, but from within. By cultivating contentment and simplicity, you open the door to a happier, more fulfilling life. So, take a deep breath, embrace the present moment, and let the beauty of simplicity guide you on your journey. Letting go of anger and resentment. In the garden of your heart, anger and resentment are like weeds. They grow quickly and can take over if you do not take care of them. Holding on to anger is like holding a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. The moment you realize this, you begin to understand the importance of letting go. Anger often arises from our expectations. We expect others to behave in certain ways. When they don't meet those expectations, disappointment sets in, and then comes anger. It is essential to recognize that we cannot control others or their actions. The only thing we can control is our response. Imagine a river. When the water flows smoothly, it is calm and peaceful. But when obstacles block its path, the water becomes turbulent and angry. Just like that river, when we face challenges or disagreements, we must find ways to flow around them rather than letting them disrupt our peace. To do this, we must practice acceptance. Accept that life is unpredictable. Accept that people will not always act as we hope. The Buddha teaches us that suffering often comes from clinging to things that are temporary. Our anger is rooted in this attachment to our expectations and desires. Letting go of anger is not about suppressing it. It's about acknowledging it, understanding it, and then choosing to release it. One effective way to let go of anger is through mindfulness. When you feel anger rising, take a moment to breathe. Focus on your breath and observe the sensations in your body. Where do you feel the anger? Is it in your chest? Your throat? By observing these feelings without judgment, you create space to respond rather than react. Another practice is to cultivate compassion, not only for others but also for yourself. Understand that everyone makes mistakes, including you. When someone wrongs you, remember that they may be struggling with their own issues. This realization can help you soften your heart and reduce feelings of anger. Forgiveness is also a powerful tool. Forgiving someone does not mean that you condone their actions. It simply means you are choosing to release the burden of anger you carry. When you forgive, you free yourself from the chains of resentment. It can be a difficult journey, but it is worth it for the peace it brings. You can also reflect on the impermanence of life. Just as a storm passes, so too do our feelings. When you feel anger, remind yourself that this feeling is temporary. It will pass, just like clouds in the sky. By recognizing this, you can let go of the need to hold on to it. Journaling can also be a helpful practice. Write down your feelings of anger and resentment. Expressing these emotions on paper allows you to process them. Once you have written it out, you can choose to release those thoughts. You can even burn the paper as a symbolic gesture of letting go. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is crucial. Spend time with people who uplift you and encourage a peaceful mindset. Their energy can help you shift your focus away from anger. Engaging in activities that bring you joy, like walking in nature, can also help soothe your heart. In moments of anger, remind yourself of the teachings of the Buddha. He emphasized the importance of loving kindness. Try to replace thoughts of anger with thoughts of love and understanding. Imagine sending loving thoughts to the person who has upset you. This may feel difficult at first, but with practice, it becomes easier. As you work on letting go of anger, celebrate small victories. Each time you choose peace over anger, acknowledge your progress. This reinforces the habit of choosing happiness over resentment. Remember that this journey is not about perfection. There will be times when anger arises, and that is okay. The key is to recognize it, learn from it, and gently let it go. This practice takes time and patience. Be kind to yourself as you navigate this path. Letting go of anger and resentment opens the door to happiness. When your heart is free from these heavy burdens, you make space for love, joy, and connection. Embrace the journey of letting go and watch how your life transforms. In this process, you will discover the beauty of living with an open heart, free from the shackles of anger. Your relationships will flourish, your mind will find peace, and your spirit will soar. Choose to let go and step into the light of happiness, building meaningful connections. In the quiet corners of our hearts, we often seek connection. We crave relationships that nourish our souls and bring joy to our lives. As a Zen master, I invite you to reflect on the beauty of meaningful connections. These connections, rooted in kindness and understanding, can elevate our spirits and transform our lives. Imagine walking through a bustling market. You see faces, some familiar, some new. Each face tells a story, and behind each story is a life filled with hopes, dreams, and struggles. What if we approach these encounters with open hearts? Every interaction offers a chance to create a bond, even if just for a moment. To build meaningful connections, start with kindness. A simple smile can brighten someone's day. It costs nothing but can mean everything. When we practice kindness, we open the door to deeper relationships. Kindness is like a seed. When planted, it grows into a beautiful tree, providing shade and shelter for ourselves and others. Listening is another essential part of connection. In a world filled with noise, true listening is rare. When someone speaks, offer them your full attention. Put away distractions. Make eye contact. Nodding and understanding shows that you value their words. This simple act fosters trust and strengthens bonds. The more we listen, the more we understand each other. Consider the practice of compassion. Compassion goes beyond sympathy. It's about truly feeling another's pain and joy. When you show compassion, you create a safe space for others to share their feelings. Remember, everyone you meet is fighting their own battles. A gentle word or a listening ear can provide comfort and connection. Another vital aspect of building connections is vulnerability. Opening up about our thoughts and feelings can be scary, but it also creates authenticity. When we share our true selves, we invite others to do the same. This exchange builds trust and strengthens relationships. Allow yourself to be seen, flaws and all. Remember, it's in our imperfections that we find common ground. Engage in shared activities to deepen connections. Whether it's cooking a meal together, hiking, or simply enjoying a cup of tea, these moments create lasting memories. Shared experiences cultivate a sense of belonging. As you laugh, learn, and even struggle together, you weave a tapestry of connection that strengthens over time. Be mindful of the energy you bring into your relationships. Positivity attracts positivity. When you approach others with a warm spirit, they are likely to respond in kind. Practice gratitude in your connections. Express appreciation for the people in your life. A simple thank you can create ripples of joy. Recognize the efforts of those around you and let them know their presence matters. In the realm of relationships, it's essential to set healthy boundaries. Loving others doesn't mean losing yourself. It's okay to say no or to prioritize your needs. Healthy boundaries create respect and understanding. When you honor your own limits, you encourage others to do the same. This mutual respect strengthens connections. Forgiveness plays a crucial role in maintaining meaningful relationships. We are all human, and mistakes are a part of life. Holding on to grudges only weighs us down. When you choose to forgive, you free yourself from the burdens of resentment. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself as much as to others. It allows love to flow freely, restoring harmony in relationships. Remember that connections are not just about quantity but quality. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Invest time and energy in relationships that bring you joy. Seek out those who share your values and passions. A small circle of genuine connections is far more fulfilling than a large network of superficial ones. Finally, be patient. Building meaningful connections takes time. Allow relationships to unfold naturally, without rushing. Each bond develops at its own pace, and that's okay. Trust that with time and effort, these connections will flourish. As we navigate through life, the relationships we cultivate become our greatest treasures. Embrace the beauty of meaningful connections and let them enrich your journey. Remember, happiness grows when we nurture our bonds with others. In the tapestry of life, every thread matters. Let your connections weave a vibrant, joyful pattern that reflects the love and compassion you hold within your heart. In the flow of life, change is the only constant. Everything around us shifts: our thoughts, feelings, circumstances, and the world itself. Embracing this idea of change can bring us immense peace. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we learn to let go of our attachments, making room for new experiences and growth. This is the essence of the Buddhist teaching on impermanence, or anicca. Imagine a river flowing. It never stays the same. The water is constantly moving, changing its course, and transforming with every moment. Just as the river flows, so does our life. Each day brings new experiences, and every moment is unique. By accepting this flow, we can find happiness in the present, rather than clinging to the past or worrying about the future. When we resist change, we often feel pain and suffering. We hold on to people, situations, and feelings that no longer serve us. Think about a time when you desperately wanted something to stay the same, whether it was a job, a relationship, or a lifestyle. The more you clung to it, the more unhappy you became when it inevitably changed or ended. This is the nature of life. Everything is born, flourishes, and eventually fades away. Buddhism teaches us to observe our attachments without judgment. It's normal to feel sadness or fear when facing change. These emotions are part of our human experience. The key is not to let them control us. Instead, we can acknowledge these feelings and let them pass, like clouds drifting through the sky. They are temporary, just like everything else. To embrace change, start by practicing mindfulness. When you find yourself resisting a change, take a moment to breathe deeply. Focus on your breath. Inhale slowly and feel the air filling your lungs. Then exhale, releasing any tension or worry. This simple practice can help you ground yourself in the present moment and create space for acceptance. Another effective way to embrace change is through gratitude. When you appreciate what you have in the moment, it becomes easier to let go of what you cannot control. For example, take a few minutes each day to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. This can be anything from a warm cup of tea to a kind smile from a stranger. By focusing on the positive aspects of your life, you can shift your perspective and embrace the changes that come your way. Consider the seasons. Each one has its beauty, but they are fleeting. Spring brings new life, summer offers warmth, autumn showcases brilliant colors, and winter encourages rest and reflection. If we cling to one season, we miss the richness of experiencing all 4. Life is similar. Each phase has its purpose and lessons. By accepting the natural cycles of life, we can appreciate each moment for what it is. As we move through life, it's essential to cultivate resilience. This means developing the ability to bounce back from challenges and adapt to new circumstances. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, but rather about learning to navigate through them with grace. Every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. When we face challenges, we learn more about ourselves and develop strength we didn't know we had. Another important aspect of embracing change is letting go of expectations. Often, we create stories in our minds about how things should be. These expectations can lead to disappointment when reality doesn't match up. Instead, approach each situation with an open heart and mind. Allow life to unfold naturally without trying to force it into a specific mold. By releasing these expectations, you create space for new possibilities to arise. In relationships, change is inevitable. People grow and evolve, and sometimes this means that connections may shift or even fade. It's crucial to recognize that this is a natural part of life. Cherish the moments you have with loved ones, but also understand that it's okay to let go when paths diverge. This doesn't diminish the value of your experiences together. It simply means you are both continuing on your journeys. As we learn to embrace change, we become more adaptable and open-minded. We start to view life as a continuous journey rather than a destination. This shift in mindset can lead to greater satisfaction and joy. Instead of resisting change, we can see it as a source of excitement, a chance to explore new avenues and discover who we are meant to become. Letting go of the need to control every aspect of our lives can be freeing. When we trust in the flow of life, we allow ourselves to be guided by a greater wisdom. We begin to understand that even in moments of uncertainty, there is an underlying purpose. Each experience, whether joyful or challenging, contributes to our growth and understanding. In conclusion, embracing change and impermanence can lead to a more fulfilling life. By practicing mindfulness, gratitude, resilience, and acceptance, we can navigate the currents of life with grace. Remember, just like the river, you are constantly flowing, transforming, and becoming. Allow yourself to enjoy this journey, knowing that every moment is a gift. Embrace the change, for it is in change that you will find true happiness. Conclusion: embracing true happiness. In our journey through the 10 habits that can make your life happy, we have learned many things together. Each habit is like a stepping stone, leading us toward a deeper understanding of happiness. Let us take a moment to reflect on the wisdom we have gathered. First, we learned about the power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is being fully present in each moment, letting go of worries about the past or future. It teaches us to appreciate the simple joys of life, like the warmth of the sun on our skin or the taste of our favorite food. When we practice mindfulness, we can find happiness in everyday moments. It reminds us that happiness is not always a grand event. Sometimes it is hidden in the small things around us. Next, we explored compassion and kindness. These two qualities have the power to transform our lives and the lives of others. When we act with compassion, we create a positive ripple effect. A smile, a kind word, or a helping hand can brighten someone's day and, in turn, bring happiness to our hearts. Kindness connects us to others and makes the world a warmer, friendlier place. Detachment from desires and expectations is another important lesson. In our fast-paced world, we often find ourselves chasing after what we think will make us happy. But true happiness comes from within, not from material possessions or achievements. By letting go of the need for more, we can appreciate what we already have. This shift in perspective allows us to experience contentment, no matter our circumstances. Living in the present moment is a powerful practice. We tend to dwell on the past or worry about the future, which steals our joy. By focusing on now, we open ourselves to life's beauty. Each moment is a gift, and when we embrace it fully, we can find happiness blooming in our hearts. Gratitude is a habit that brings light into our lives. When we take time to acknowledge what we are thankful for, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This simple practice cultivates a sense of abundance and joy. Start by writing down 3 things you are grateful for each day. This small act can transform your outlook and fill your heart with happiness. Cultivating positive thoughts is essential. Our minds can be filled with negativity, but we have the power to change that. By consciously choosing positive thoughts, we can create a more uplifting and joyful mindset. Affirmations can be a helpful tool. Repeat phrases like, "I am worthy of happiness," or "I choose joy," to rewire your mind and encourage a happier perspective. Finding contentment in simplicity is a valuable lesson. In a world that often glorifies excess, simplicity offers a refreshing alternative. Embrace the beauty of a simple life. Spend time in nature, enjoy a quiet moment, or connect with loved ones without distractions. When we strip away the unnecessary, we can discover true happiness in what truly matters. Letting go of anger and resentment is crucial for our well-being. Holding on to these emotions weighs us down and prevents us from experiencing joy. Instead, practice forgiveness, both for yourself and others. Release the burdens of the past, and you will find your heart opening up to happiness. Building meaningful connections is another key aspect of happiness. Relationships enrich our lives in ways that material possessions cannot. Invest time and energy in the people you care about. Listen to them, support them, and celebrate their joys. These connections create a sense of belonging and warmth that is essential for our happiness. Lastly, embracing change and impermanence is vital. Life is a constant flow of changes, and resisting it only leads to suffering. Instead, learn to accept that change is a natural part of life. When we embrace impermanence, we can find beauty in every moment, knowing that nothing lasts forever. This understanding can help us appreciate life more fully and find joy in the present. As we conclude this journey, remember that happiness is not a destination but a way of living. It is found in the choices we make every day and the habits we cultivate. Each of these 10 habits has the potential to transform your life and lead you to a happier existence. So, as you move forward, carry these lessons with you. Practice mindfulness, show compassion, let go of desires, live in the present, express gratitude, cultivate positivity, embrace simplicity, release anger, build connections, and accept change. By integrating these habits into your life, you can create a life filled with joy, peace, and true happiness. May you find happiness within yourself and share it with others. Your journey is just beginning, and every step you take towards happiness will enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Embrace it fully, and let the beauty of life unfold before you.